What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and I was going to kind of talk to you guys quickly. Now, as a lot of you will know, I don't bother covering UFC 4 news because, as you know, I don't respect it as a video game. I don't respect it as an MMA game. I don't enjoy it at all. So there's no point in me covering the news to pretend to. When UFC 5 comes out, if the game is good, I will cover more news. Of course, I'll cover the lead up to UFC 5 if we ever get there. And, of course, I will. I love UFC games, but UFC 4 is not the game for me. Which brings us on to our topic of kind of, is UFC 4 dead, but also, is UFC 5 further away than we actually think it is? Obviously, there was talks of we're getting it this year, because obviously we got UFC 4 literally a year ago, 2 years ago today, around this time, August kind of 10th, 5th, 15th, kind of that time, depends if you had EA access and stuff like that. And people assumed 2 years' time we would get it. That's been kind of the general idea. We got one 2014, I believe 2016, 2018, 2020. Now, the worrying thing is, while UFC are still updating their game, which to a certain point is good, but they seem to be updating the worst one, people are still, when UFC 4 was around the corner, we stopped getting updates for the other games. However, UFC obviously added Tom Aspinall, Paul Craig, Molly McCann, and Paddy Pimblett. However, they've just, Chito Vera put on his Twitter that he is going to be in UFC 4 and he's giving away a code. I'll put the image up on screen. And he put it on Twitter saying, I'm going to be in UFC 4. Obviously, it was in his, I can't remember what is he from Ecuador or something? I'm not quite familiar where he's from, but he put it in his language, and obviously it was translated and stuff like that. And which is great. It's great to see him in the game. I'll be able to I might actually give him a go and use him. I used to have a series going on the channel where I would use new fighters. It was just called UFC 4 New Fighters. And every time a new fighter got added, I would use them, look at their stats, and you guys would see the game from a non-high level player experience. People enjoyed that. But unfortunately, the game was so unenjoyable, I couldn't make those videos in good conscience and pretend to enjoy the game. Now, the thing is with that, UFC 4 is now about 2 years old, and it feels like the game is dying more and more each day, and people are only playing it because there's nothing left to play. Honestly, if they said to you, alright guys, we're going to boot up UFC 1 again, just an example, with all the old stuff, but we're just going to modernise it. We're going to let you so you can throw the jab and without having to stand still, and we're going to just update it graphically a little bit better and add it to the PS5 and the new Xbox and PC. Guarantee UFC 4 would not be touched again. In my opinion, all the other ones are just far superior. I just think UFC 4 is a very unenjoyable gaming experience. Now, obviously, same as Fight Night. If they added Fight Night Round 4 to the new Xbox and PS5, no one's going to play UFC 4. People are only playing it because there's nothing else to play. Now, with them still adding fighters and still scanning people in, that either means they're prepping for UFC 5, so they're adding Chito into UFC 4, they get feedback, they then add him to UFC 5, he's already there. Obviously, we saw Sean O'Malley in UFC 3, who looked disgusting. He looked like a fucking light heavyweight. He was built like a brick shithouse, and it barely looked like him. Then UFC 4 Sean O'Malley was very impressive, and it looked good. He looked like a bantamweight. He moved very unique. His stats felt very true to himself, and give credit where credit is due. So the fact they're slumped out in UFC 4, and this was their best-selling UFC to date, does that mean they're just going to keep updating it so more people buy it and more people play it so they don't actually have to make a new game? And are we further away than we think? There was talks of next summer, so that gives them a year, let's say, to make UFC 5. It's EA Sports, and my assumption will be they haven't started yet. And in about 8 months, they'll start. They'll push the game out. They'll probably go from nothing to something in 4 months, sell it for 70 quid, and we'll all buy it. That's probably the way it's going to shake out. So while I shit on UFC 4, I love UFC games. I really do. I love mixed martial arts. The UFC games just bring, I'm never going to be a martial artist. I'm just not. I love to box. And sure, in due time, I will try jiu-jitsu. However, for now, I'm not going to go in the cage and fight Jorge Masvidal. I'd love to, but I won't. So that's one of those things where I love playing MMA games. I know you guys do as well, and it's just disappointing. And the last thing I want, honestly, is to have UFC 4 out for another year. It's looking that way, but there could be even more. If they're still adding fighters, let's say Chito Vera is the last fighter they add, and they make it, then the UFC 5 is now in the works, and it comes out in a year. That means we get no updates for a year. And also, they don't give out news and little snippets of UFC 5 early. They literally do it a few weeks, if not maybe 2 months at most, before the game drops. So you're not going to get a year's worth of news and build up and seeing new shit. We're going to get nothing until we're a month away. So that means that you guys may have to put up with a no more updates on UFC 4 for another year. Now the worrying thing is if come June they start updating UFC 4, they're still adding fighters. That for me would say UFC 5 is even further away. I've not known the company to be capable of updating the games coinciding with making the new one. They seem to just stop. I think the last update we ever got for UFC 3, if I'm right, was, I wonder if I can get it up on my PlayStation. So it was version 1.14, and before that, it was version 1.13. Added iconic fighter status to following fighters: Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, Mark Coleman, Matt Hughes, Rampage, Hoist Gracie. Added driving double leg takedowns. That was the second to last update they ever did. Update 1.14 was just various bug fixes. They literally didn't update anything for ages. Like, just to give you guys something. Here we go. Version 1.11. Just so you guys get an idea of the last time they gave a major update to UFC 3. Added 2 new fighters. Sean O'Malley and Israel Adesanya in middleweight. That was the last time they added... Oh, they added Alex Hernandez and Mackenzie Dern. And like I said, they added those legend statuses. And they added Andre Bishop and Isaac Frost. There you go. That was the... Remember when Marshall Mine made a video on UFC 4 about Isaac Frost and Andre Bishop? Give me a sec. Alright. Okay. Here we go. So, version 1.13. So, the last major update they did was added Fight Night boxers Andre Bishop and Isaac Frost. Marshall Mine was probably on it within a couple of days. He made the video. Isaac Frost was added to the game. New Fight Night maybe, which it never happened. December 8th, 2018. We then got UFC 4, August 2020. So even if... So that just shows... Anyways, I'm getting carried away because it's just the fact that, yeah, it pissed me off. The point is, guys, is I really think that we are really far away from UFC 5. I don't think that... I think we have at least got 12 months of UFC 4. There may be a few bug fixes, but there's nothing major. And that is a prime example that they do not keep adding shit as they make a new one. They just don't. And if they do, then I'll hold my hands up and go, I'm wrong. But the evidence shows that every single time the updates stop, we're about a year away. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I didn't see the Cheeto thing as good news, personally. I thought, okay, so we're at least a year away. At least. Which is depressing as fuck to think about. And that's assuming they don't then go and add a new fighter. I don't know who's popular. Is it Muhammad Usman? Kamaru Usman's brother? Let's say they add him in 6 months. No way are they still adding fighters to UFC 4 when they are making UFC 5. So that's the worry to me. That is the worry to me. I think we're at least 12 months away. At least 12 months from when Cheeto gets added. So from when we see Cheeto get added, we're at least 12 months away. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's fucking depressing. I don't enjoy it that much. I don't enjoy UFC 4. Is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm not the UFC 4 guy. I'm not the big YouTuber. And yeah, it's just one of those things at the end of the day. Hopefully we'll get something on UFC 5 soon, but it seems unlikely. But I just wanted to talk about this. And this, like I said, I didn't even think about it until just talking to you guys now. This is an example that December 2018 was when they added Andre Bishop and Isaac Frost, and we got the bug fixes at 1.14, which would probably been about 2 months down the line. So even then, let's say they updated the game April 2019, that's still a year and 4 months until we got UFC 4 in its shit state that we got it released in. It's just, you know, food for thought kind of thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.